Hello, welcome to live this evening. I said we're going to discuss how to invest in the stock market this evening when I did come in the afternoon. Yeah, you're welcome. Where are you joining me from? My name is Sifawu and I'm currently in Canada. Where are you joining me from? You're welcome on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube. This evening, we're going to be discussing how to invest in the stock market how to invest in real estate using the stock market. That is what we're going to be discussing today. How to invest in the real estate using the stock market is what we are going to be discussing today. Are we excited to invest in stock markets? Are we excited to invest in the real estate? Are you excited? If you are, leave one in the chat. Do you want to know how you can actually invest in real estate through the stock market? Do you want to know how you can invest in real estate through the stock market? That is what we're going to be discussing today. And I'm going to give you 3 simple steps in which you can use to invest in real estate through the stock market. Just 3, not more than 3 simple steps. But before we go ahead with that, what do we understand by stock market in the first place? What do we understand by stock market? Stock market is a market. Let me put it that way. Stock market is a market where you go to buy stocks. So you have your fruit market, you have your meat market, you have your clothing market. Stock market is a market where you go to buy stocks. Now, if you want to invest in real estate, how do you do it through the stock market? Most immigrants, what they like is, thank you for the like, Savior. So, and thank you for joining. So most immigrants, what you want to do is you want to buy real estate property, you want to invest in real estate, and you keep looking for down payment for you to start your investment. What if you had a better option of you going through the stock market without having huge down capital payments, that better credit score, start with whatever you have? Good evening, sir. Savior. Right? What if you had a better option? An option that is available to you that you might not have known of, where you can actually invest, thank you, where you can actually invest in the stock markets invest in real estate through the stock market. And that is what we're going to be discussing today. Now, have you heard about Amazon before? Amazon, Winners, maybe Target in your country, Walmart. Have you heard about them before? If you have, can you leave one in the chat? Let's make it interactive. I have less than 1 hour, but I want us to be able to get something out of this live today. Okay, so you must have heard about Amazon, you've heard about Walmart, maybe you've heard about Target. What is common to these people? What is common in this name that I've mentioned? What is common to them? Something that is common to them is that they pay rent to somebody. Amazon does not own all the warehouse where they keep their goods. A company actually owns some of those warehouses. And what does that mean? It means that Amazon will pay rent to that company. When you go to a shopping mall, the stores that are in that shopping mall, they don't own the shopping mall. There is a company that owns that shopping mall, and that means those stores will pay rent to the owner of that shopping mall. Now, for you that you want to go into real estate, as an individual, I want to go into real estate property. What do I need? I need to get my down payment, right? I'll need to get a mortgage if I don't have the full cash. Thank you for the like, Enzo. I need to go to get the mortgage. If I don't have the full cash, I'll get a mortgage, right? Then I need a good credit score. I need a closing cost for me to be able to buy a physical property. Now, this that I've counted, you would need close to maybe $60,000 or thereabout, depending on the type of house you want to buy, right? Now, before you save that $60,000, so let's say you're even doing $5,000 every year, you're saving $5,000 every year. That means you will need 12 years to save the $60,000. Now, there's another way for you to actually get real estate rental income through the stock market. And that is what we are discussing today. That is what we are discussing today. Now, when you want to buy a physical property, you want to go into real estate. What are you going into real estate for? You're going into real estate for two things. Number one, you want to get rental income because you're going to put tenants in this house. And once the tenant makes payments, that income comes to you as a rental income. The second reason you're going into real estate property is to build wealth. How do you build wealth? You buy the house for $300,000. You keep the house for the next 10 years, for the next 20 years. When you sell the house, you're selling for $400,000. That means your selling price minus your buying price gives you about $100,000. That is how you build wealth through real estate. So two ways to build wealth. One is your rental income you're getting every month. The second way is through the appreciation of your capital. The house has appreciated in the market and you sell it. That's the two reasons why you want to buy real estate. Now, I'm saying these two reasons can also be achieved through the stock market. Because when you invest in a company that is already into real estate, what do? They pay you dividends. Now, when they pay you dividends, that is your rent. Just imagine it as your rent. So you know you have a tenant. Every month you get rent from this tenant. That is your rent, right? In a traditional real estate. Now, if you're investing through the stock market, the companies that you're investing in will pay you dividends, which serves as your rent. The second way we said we can use to accumulate wealth through real estate is us for the capital to appreciate. The building appreciates, right? Now, when you buy a stock for $20, if you're selling and the price is now $30, you will sell for $30. What does that mean? It means that you've made a gain of $10. You've appreciated your capital. So I'm saying through the stock market, you can achieve the two reasons of you getting traditional real estate in the stock market. Now, why is it good to invest through the stock market? Number one, you don't need that huge down payment. Remember when I started, I said for you to get a house, you need that down payment, you need the closing costs. We are not even talking about the headache of being a landlord, right? You need the down payment, you need the closing costs, you need some other repairs costs. All those, you need a good credit score, because if you don't have good credit scores, it means your interest will be high. You pay more interest on the debts you have. Now, when you invest through the stock market, you do not need, you bypass those three. Nobody asks you for your credit score. Nobody cares. Nobody will tell you, oh, you only have $100. You can't invest in the stock market. Nobody cares. Nobody will say, where is your closing cost? Nobody cares about it. So it gives you an edge. While you are looking for the money, or you're saving for that down payment, you're saving the $100,000 you want to use for the down payment. While you're saving it, you can be investing in the stock market for you to gather the money and use it to buy your traditional real estate. I'm saying you can enter the stock market investing in real estate property with whatever you have. You have $100, you can buy. You have $1 million, you can buy. You have $10,000, you can buy real estate property, and you will get dividends paid to you, which serves as your rent. The other way is your capital would appreciate in the market because the price of your stock would go up. If you have the mind to have a real estate, a physical property, you're not buying to sell immediately. Because of course, if you buy to sell immediately, the tendency that you will lose money is high, right? You're buying to hold for the next 10 years. You're keeping that property for another 5 years before you sell it. So that is the same mindset you would take to the market when you want to buy, when you want to invest in real estate property. That, oh, if I was buying a traditional real estate, a physical property, I would actually buy and hold for a while. So if I'm investing in real estate investments, I would also buy and hold for a while. And if you buy stocks and hold for a while, good stocks and hold for a while, your price would appreciate in the market. Your price would what? Appreciate in the market. Remember, I said we're investing in the stock market, but want to invest in real estate in the stock market, right? Because we all want to have that real estate property. And I'm saying there's an easy way for you to start having the real estate property through the stock market. Now, when you buy from the stock market, you can buy at any time, you can sell at any time. If you have a traditional house, a traditional real estate, which is not bad, don't get me wrong, it's good to have a traditional real estate. But if you have a traditional real estate, if you want to sell, you go through the listing, you list your properties. That cannot be done at a jiffy. You can't say, I want to sell now, and you get buyer now, and you sell up now. No, it will still have to go through some process, maybe 1 month, 2 months. The house will be in the market, right? But when you buy investment trust, real estate investment trust through the stock market, I can wake up right now and say, I no longer need these shares. I'm selling them off immediately. I'm selling them off immediately. Do you understand? So that is one reason why buying investment in stock markets, real estate investment in stock markets, it's easy, aside from the fact that you don't need huge capital. Now we've established that you don't need huge capital for you to actually buy real estate investment in the stock market. You do not need a credit score. You can buy with whatever amount you have. You can buy even if your credit score is 300. You can still buy because nobody cares about your credit score when you're investing, right? Now, we've said that you can easily buy and sell. I can buy my stocks right now and sell it right now, which is not applicable if you're buying a traditional real estate. So these are some of the reasons why investing through the stock market might be an option you want to consider while you're saving towards buying the physical house, because I know we love physical houses. But while you're saving towards buying that physical house, you can start by investing in the stock market. Do we understand? So if you want to invest in the stock market, what are the steps for you to invest in the stock market? I'm going to give you 3 simple steps today that you can take off this class and go ahead to start investing. Now, to invest in the stock market, you need a brokerage account. Depending on the country you're in, right? Brokerage account is the link between you and the stock market, because you can't just go to the stock market that I want to buy stocks, right? You need a link, and that is your brokerage account. So if you're in Canada, you can open World Simple. World Simple is very beginner friendly. Just download it from your Play Store or your Apple Store and sign up. If you're in US, you can open Robinhood or Fidelity. If you're in the UK, Trading 212 is good. If you want to use interactive brokers, is good as well, just that you have to pay charges. Then if you're in Africa, REITs particularly is not in Africa, but you can invest in REITs in US in Africa using Bamboo. So you can download Bamboo if you're in Africa. Now, when you download those apps, you will need to actually create a profile, right? Create a profile on the app. If you have a question, drop it in the chat. I will answer you. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for joining, right? So if you download the app, you will need to create a profile. For you to create a profile, what do you need? You will need your name. You will need a legal address. You need your birth date, your date of birth, and you would need your social insurance number or your tax identification number. Remember, this is an investment, which means it is taxable. Okay? So you need your social insurance number. A lot of people get stuck at that point and say, no, I don't want to put my social insurance number or my tax identification number because it's an app and the likes. But because you're investing, and this is a taxable investment, you would need your social insurance number or your tax identification number. If you've downloaded your app, remember, the aim of us going to the stock market today is for us to buy real estate properties, right? We do not want to wait till we have that 100,000 to buy a traditional real estate. We want to start investing in the stock market with whatever amounts we have. And I've said the first step is for you to download your brokerage app. The second step is for you to choose an investment account. For you, when you download your brokerage app, it's just as if you download your bank app, right? If you download, let's say you use Scotiabank and you just download the app, you don't have an account with Scotiabank, the app will be looking at you while you'll be looking at the app as well. But you can download the app and you will now need to choose an investment account. And this is very important when you're choosing an investment account. When you're choosing an investment account, choose an account that is either tax sheltered. Now, let me explain what I mean by tax sheltered. Tax sheltered means either the account, you don't pay taxes on that account, or the taxes on the account is deferred to the future. The taxes for the account is deferred to the future. So one of these two makes that account tax sheltered. You're not paying taxes on it, or the taxes is deferred to the future. Okay? Now, when you say don't pay taxes, so you need to know the type of investment account you want to choose in your brokerage account. I'm going to explain why it is important for you to choose in a tax sheltered account. So let's say, for instance, you've put money in the market and you make a return. Return is the gain you make on your money. You make a return of maybe $1,000. So maybe you put $10,000, you now have $1,000 in form of return, which means your account now has a total of $11,000, right? If person A used a tax sheltered account, maybe a TFSA, if the person is in Canada, for instance, if they use tax sheltered account, that person will go home with their $11,000. Remember, they put $10,000, they made a gain of $1,000. They now have $11,000 in their bank account, in their brokerage account. That person would go home with that $11,000. Person B, they did the same investment. They used the same app to invest, the same brokerage app to invest. But the person used a taxable account, not a tax sheltered account. Remember, person A used a tax sheltered account. That is why they can go home, actually made the same, invested in the same property and made the same return. So the person B has $11,000 in their account as well, but because they are using a taxable account, they are going to pay taxes on the $1,000. So let's say person B, maybe the tax bracket is 10%, for instance. It means the person B would pay 10% of $1,000, which is the gain on their investment, right? That means they are going to go home with $10,900. Do we understand that? That is why I encourage us, start with a tax sheltered account. Start with a tax sheltered account. And I said, if you're in Canada, you can start with TFSA. For 2026, the room for 2026 is $7,000. It means you can invest up to $7,000 in your TFSA account in 2026. You can invest up to $7,000 in your TFSA account in 2026. And any return you make on that investment, no matter what, if your $7,000 becomes $50,000, it is not taxable because you're using a TFSA account. If you're in the US, you can try Roth IRA. That's a non-taxable account. If you're in UK, stock and shares ISA is what you use. If you're in Africa, I'm not sure we have any account that is not taxable. Any account in Africa. So we said step one, if you want to invest in the real estate through the stock market, we explain why you need to invest in the real estate through the stock market. I'm just going to do a brief overview for those that are just joining us, right? So we said if you want to invest in real estate, you need a down payment, you need a credit score, you need the closing costs. But you can start investing in the stock market, still able to get your rental income, which is number one, and able to appreciate your equity, that's your capital in the market, without having that huge down payment, without having the good credit score, and without looking for a closing cost. You can start with whatever amount you have. If you have questions, please drop it on the chat. Now, Now that we've established that you download your brokerage account, you've opened your brokerage account, you've signed up on the brokerage account. The next thing is you've chosen your investment account, the type of investment account you want to use. And I explain why it is necessary or why it is good for you to choose a tax deferred account, a tax sheltered account, not tax deferred per se. Tax sheltered might either be deferred or non-taxable, right? Why it is important. The next thing is for you to actually look for the real estate investments you want to buy. So you've opened your account, you've chosen your investment account. Now it's time for you to invest in the stock market. If you want to invest in the stock market, you can either invest in stocks or you can invest in ETF. Do we know the difference between stocks and ETF? Do we know the difference between stocks and ETF? If you do, can you put a 1 in the chat? If you don't, can you put a 2 in the chat? Do we know the difference between stock and ETF? Okay, I'm going to explain. Now, when we look at stock, you're buying the stock or the share of a single company. You're buying the stock of a single company, that is stock. When it comes to ETF, you're buying a basket of stocks. So in that basket, you have different stocks in that basket.